So our last two videos about interpreting other people charitably, especially in marriage, are part of a way of being married and a way of relating with others that can be called deferential love. What is deferential love? Well, it comes from the word defer, which means to show respect to the other person. But what does this ultimately look like? The way I would describe it is a willingness to take the burden onto oneself. And especially when it comes to approaching conversations and solving problems. Let me just give an example. Let's say you have a married couple, and let's say the wife has an issue with the husband because he plays video games a lot, or perhaps too much. So the opposite way to approach this conversation, this is not deferential love, would be for her to go to him and say, hey, you play video games too much. You're just, now, because what you're doing when it's, oh, you do this, you're just putting the other person on an island. What you want to do is approach things in ways that come from you and your needs and still kind of keep you together. So what would the better way to approach this conversation be? It would be for her to go up to him. First of all, she needs to ask herself, what does this mean to me that he plays video games too much? Maybe it's, oh, well, we don't have enough time together, or, I don't feel like he's paying attention to me when I need to talk with him. Find out what that is. What's your need there? Then you can go ahead and have a conversation. And she could say, hey, when you play video games for this long, it makes me feel like this. Or, hey, you know what? The story I'm telling myself when you play video games for this long is that you don't care about me, because I need to talk with you. I need to have your attention in order to feel connected with you. Do you see the difference there? She is bringing up her need and making it about her, and using that as a way to draw him closer and draw him in, instead of bringing up his flaw and putting it to him so that he is isolated in it. That's what deferential love looks like. And that is going to be something that will help you have a happier marriage and happier connections with other people. Because, you see, nobody wants to hear their flaw. And by the way, it's wise to go about this even if the other person is doing something that could objectively be said to be bad. Okay, now please understand, all right, I'm not talking about the worst of the worst situations, like domestic violence or something where you need to make sure to get to your safety or whatever. I'm talking about in the reasonable course of things, right? Even if something could really be objectively said to be bad, right? It's still better to approach it that way, because instead of even when you have someone who can say, yeah, I was wrong, it's still better to present it in such a way as to, hey, here's my need, and then let that person draw closer to you in order to be able to meet your need and be sensitive to it. This way of communicating in marriage is much, much better. And don't just take it from me. Take it from people like John Gottman, the leading researcher in marriage. If you have a relationship where you can express your needs, be grateful. But even if it's difficult, it's better to express your needs, honestly, than to point out the other person's flaws. So try that.